We're going to move on to something, oh man, even more. Kevin Spacey is back in the news because, of course, he is, because Hollywood is awful and full of awful people. And that is just...
I was dying kind of like watching you make the thumbnail of like, Hollywood is just full of awful people. Like,
I was
well,
like,
yeah.
End of segment.
It's not wrong.
So it's like the idea here is that it's not just Kevin Spacey. It's a bunch of other stuff that came in the news that I thought all lumped in together. It's just like, I will rail to the end of time that do not let anyone in these industries tell you that how you live is wrong. Do not let anyone in these industries tell you what is moral or what is right, because if there was a leg to stand on, they're negative legs.
Speaking of people who should not be your role models.
Yes.
Please read the following list.
So it says Kevin Spacey has booked another movie. Oh, so in the article, by the way, it's very cleverly worded. It says Kevin Spacey, accused sexual harasser, creeps back into film with major role in historical drama. I'm literally picturing the person who wrote that like,
Creeps. Nailed it.
Get it? It says Kevin Spacey has booked another movie role as an actor who is accused of sexual harassment and unwanted advances by multiple men, continues to creep back into the film industry.
I just love that he has to. He's booked on the role as an actor as opposed to like.
It says as the actor. I screwed
as
it up.
the actor.
Okay, so I'll try again. Kevin Spacey has booked another movie role as the actor who is accused of sexual harassment and unwanted advances by multiple men, continues to creep back into the film industry.
Let's never forget that when these all allegations came out, Kevin Spacey took to Twitter and said, "Yes, I have done a lot of things with my life, and upon reflection, I've decided to live as a gay man." What? Most bizarre segue of all time.
When Brett brought that up earlier, I was like, did we just have like a more innocent society back then that could fall for something like that?
He got immediate. I remember because I was driving in New York City at the time.
Moment.
There was immediate backlash, and people were like, LGBTQ activists were like, you can't use this as a way to defend yourself from this.
But he did, and
he was like, I'll do it anyways.
I don't think it worked.
I
don't know. It's like it really. This person should not be able to work in Hollywood.
I think people had a hard time with it because Kevin Spacey and his brother have both been somewhat public about the fact that they suffered really intense childhood abuse, and there was some concern about attacking someone who has undergone abuse. Although, if he committed horrific crimes, we should still talk about them.
But if that is the case,
I think that's just the context about why people were like, we don't even know how to deal with this person.
Right, but that unfortunately, like, being a victim is correlated with then becoming a perpetrator.
Yep.
So it only makes these accusations more credible.
So as Deadline reports, Spacey is set to star in the historical drama 1242, which is a joint UK, Hungarian, and Mongolian production.
What?
Notice that there's no American in there.
What? UK Hungary. It's like
On theme.
It's like when people get cut from the NBA, and so they're like, I'm gonna go play in Latvia now.
Yeah, like the Canadian Pro Basketball League. Yeah. Spacey will play Cardinal Cesarini. Thank you. I knew you could help me with that. A representative of the Pope who arrives at the Hungarian fort of. Do you know what that one is?
Aren't you Hungarian, their team?
Estergom.
Oh, I thought you were.
I'm Polish and Czech.
Oh, Andrew's Hungarian.
Yes.
Never mind.
Estradome?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Just as Genghis Khan's grandson Batu prepares to launch a final assault that could potentially pave the way for an invasion of Europe. Filming is set to begin this October in Mongolia with veteran Hungarian filmmaker Peter Sus. I don't know, Sus?
Just read with confidence. We believe you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As director, so he's the director. Along with Spacey, the movie will also star Eric Roberts and Christopher Lambert. That's not good. Doesn't anybody here want Highlander to be remembered fondly?
But he's not working. He's like, I gotta do something.
The representatives from the film's other stars did not immediately return requests for comment. Yeah, no crap.
Right.
Like, so
this is like the first they're finding out about
how
it.
do you feel about being in a movie with like a dude who raped a bunch of people?
Allegedly.
But I think they would say that who allegedly raped a bunch of people. It says where would it? Oh yeah, it says 1242. Arguably Spacey's biggest film role since accusations against him emerged in 2017. It is far from the first. So last year he worked with Italian director Franco Nero.
This part was weird.
On The Man Who Drew God, which is about a blind artist who draws people from their voice who is wrongly accused of sexually abusing a child. Oh boy.
Like-
Nero played the main part while Spacey was cast in a small role as a police detective. Faye Dunaway, wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time, also starred in the movie. As of yet, there is no official release date for The Man Who Drew God. Furthermore, Spacey was reported to working on a movie called Peter 5'8" last year. The film is directed by Michael Zako Hall, although there is currently no details about the plot or the size of Spacey's role in it. I mean, this is kind of like, I'm thinking to like, P. Diddy was like, he made sure that the Billboard Music Awards would let Travis Scott perform. He's like,
We'll have no canceling.
He
here.
pulled like I'm uncanceling people.
We're canceling cancel culture.
She has to say it in a Piers Morgan voice from now on.
Is this Pierce Morgan's doing?
Here's
what's annoying me. Like, why is it that you will be, quote unquote, canceled for like so much as breathing in the wrong direction towards Meghan Markle? I don't know. But then if you have like credible accusations of pedophilia and assault on you,
be very careful of the term credibly accused. Remember, we've seen that Tim talks about that one all the time.
Doesn't he have ongoing
legal cases? So remember that and that's with his name is Kevin Rapp, right? So Kevin Rapp, two of them. So Kevin Rapp is still alive, but the other two
are there like how many total accusations
if you guys,
were there?
I think there's five total. But remember, Linda Culkin, John Doe, which was, and then Ari Ben. 3 of Kevin Spacey's accusers have died this year.
Linda Culkin in relation to Macaulay Culkin?
I do not believe so. She's like a therapist or a massage therapist or something like that. It says Ari Ben, a former Norwegian royal who accused Kevin Spacey of sexual assault in 2017, has died by suicide, aged 47, just hours after Spacey shared a bizarre video on social media. They're talking about, I believe, the one with him in front of like the fireplace, where he does the weird Frank Underwood impression type thing. In 2017, Ben accused Spacey, I'm assuming it's Ben, of groping him under the table at the Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo a decade earlier. He is the 3rd Spacey accuser to die in 2019. Ben was born in Denmark, was married to Martha Louise, the oldest daughter of Norway's King Harald V and Queen Sonja for 14 years. The couple divorced in 2017, and it goes down here. It says, during a radio interview, Ben claimed that Spacey groped him under a table during a banquet in 2007, just after he and actress Uma Thurman had finished hosting a Nobel Peace Prize concert. And then there was Linda Culkin, who was struck dead by a car because she was like harassing Kevin Spacey because one of his accusers like told her about it, and then she started like harassing him about what happened. It says Culkin was reportedly struck by a Toyota vehicle after she stepped into a busy intersection. She was taken to Boston Medical Center, but later died. So a bunch of these people have passed, and it's like, it's hard to believe that like
3 out of 5 is...
Are we at the suspicious line?
Coincidence.
Are we at the suspicious line? So I don't know if necessarily you can say that he doesn't this is one of those things where I don't know what to say to any of this because I don't know. I can't prove that any of this stuff happened. Continuously badly reported behavior is obviously where there's people like the idea of where there's smoke meets there's fire, but I don't know what to say to all this other than he's creepy and that what do you say?
Very, very weird.
Here's what is like bothering me is that like people in Hollywood are ousted and dogpiled for like the most inane of reasons, but when somebody is all but convicted,
well, but not convicted, but he has a very specific story. So this is the story from Rap. Let me see if I can get the part about his testimony here. I had it here specifically. In
the Rolling Stone article.
Yeah, it says Kevin Spacey sexually abused Mr. Rapp and another gentleman who needs to remain anonymous. When they were 14 years old, Spacey's conduct was not only improper and abusive, but it was a crime. In bringing this action under the New York's Child Victims Act, Mr. Rapp, who previously came forward to BuzzFeed about the abuse, and our client, who needs to remain anonymous, have taken the first step to hold Spacey accountable, which is what you should be doing. You should not be going to tabloid. Like, this is the hard part I have with all this. Going to tabloids this many years later, because of the way culture is now, people are going like Spacey seems to have not escaped the critique, right? A lot of people now will discount claims automatically if you go right to the press and not to the cops. But you can't do that 25 years later with something like this. what do you do in these situations? Because now people are more suspicious than ever of these types of accusations.
And you could go to a lawyer and be like, this happened to me. And they could be like, while I believe you, if we filed charges, it would be outside the statute of limitations.
Well, because of the New York Child Victims Act, they're able to bypass this statute.
But that's not true in every state.
So this says, Rapp's accusation in the complaint mirrors the one he shared with BuzzFeed in October of 2017. At the time, Rapp was 14 years old and a child actor on Broadway when he attended a party at Spacey's Manhattan apartment. At the party, according to the suit, Spacey, quote, intentionally, involuntarily, and without plaintiff's consent, engaged in unwanted sexual advance with a 14-year-old and grabbed Rapp's buttocks, lifted him onto the bed, and laid on his body. Rapp, fearing for his safety, ran into the bathroom and was eventually able to leave the party, while Spacey allegedly tried to persuade him to stay. The suit claims that because of the encounter, Rapp sustained psychological injuries, including but not limited to severe emotional distress, humiliation, fright, anger, depression, and anxiety, a severe shock to his nervous system, and has been accused of to suffer from mental anguish and emotional and psychological damage. And the fact that Spacey never felt any fear that this stuff would come out says a lot, both to, if true,
Right.
to the gall or to,
Even
to the
if
guile.
you were belligerently drunk, when you're drunk, you don't just do things that you would never even conceive of doing while sober. This is probably something that he treated rather flippantly, and that's why he didn't remember it years later.
Yep.
He had no memory of this happening.
And it means that it likely was a regular,
Yes.
could have been a regular occurrence. Says, the suit claims that Spacey and CD, that's the unnamed person in this case, continued to engage in sexual acts so CD was 14 when Spacey allegedly invited him to his apartment, where Spacey engaged in a sexual act with the plaintiff, including but not limited to performing anal intercourse on the defendant, Spacey, and oral sex. So this is disgusting.
Multiple occasions.
It's at
that's
14 years old.
That's grooming and creating a relationship with a child.
Well, and he met this person while teaching an acting class in
when he
Westchester
was
County, New York.
12,
as a teacher assaulted a
and
student.
the fact that this person is now employed in Hollywood.
The thing is,
I
I
can't
get that he has
stand
been
it.
employed. When we listed the projects that he has recently connected with,
They're not Hollywood.
they don't sound real to. I mean, I could tell you, oh yeah, Carter and I are developing a January 6th musical, but it's only theoretical. Actors do stuff to bolster, so it looks like they're working because they don't want it to look like their career has no momentum.
You think he's just totally astroturfing a career?
Yeah, I think that's really
Is
normal.
that even
it says
possible?
Yeah,
filming
it's
is-
super normal in Hollywood.
Filming is set to begin in October. so
There's
that
no
it could
plot,
follow
and we
through.
can't say who the character he plays is. But they're in development for a
Well,
movie. I mean,
no.
I could be in development for anything at any time if I say.
I mean,
say
there
it.
was a very specific story listed.
No,
to
not
the,
with one of
The
them.
1242 one is very concrete.
Yeah, the other
example.
one-
There's one on here that he was like, we don't know who he's.
No, but I'm
playing.
saying, but the other one, the 1242 one.
I'm
was
just
very
saying. I
specific.
just think that yes, if a major studio picked up Kevin Spacey, it would be horrific.
Yeah.
I do want to say that it sounds like he is not really being picked up by Hollywood. To be fair, we don't know what other allegations are out there, and he has been a part of this industry for a long time, so it doesn't excuse anything. But I would say that being no offense to Hungary at all, but it does not sound like he is at the peak that his career once was.
And to move on, we can now
This
say
Andy Dick one is so absurd. When I read it, I could not believe that he even said this thing out loud.
Andy Dick is arrested for it says felony sexual battery after an adult male accused him of sexual assault at the O'Neill Regional Park. The incident was recorded and live streamed on Captain Content's RV live stream on Wednesday, and the video has rapidly spread throughout social media since. You can watch the clip below. If in the video, deputies greet Dick at the door of the trailer before placing him in handcuffs and escorting him to a nearby vehicle. Reportedly, Dick had been living in the trailer with a group of live streamers, which may explain why his arrest was able to be broadcast live as it happened. After the police arrest entered the trailer and asked to collect the male victim's pants as evidence. So this is not It's not like this is rumor. He's already
He's
been
so
arrested.
creepy.
Yeah, it says Dick has had brushes with the law dating back decades. This includes a prior incident in 2008 when he allegedly removed a teen girl's top, and after cops found cannabis and Xanax in his possession, he was charged and pleaded guilty to misdemeanor battery and marijuana possession. So if they didn't even like pursue the prosecution on the Xanax charge, which would be a much harder, a much higher classification of drug to be caught with, it proves to you that what you can get away with in these industries if you have money.
Is he famous? I've never heard of this person.
Andy Dick's a pretty famous comedian.
Why is he living in a trailer with a bunch of streamers?
It looks like this.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I don't get this at all.
They just brushed past it like it was no big deal, and I was like, why?
A bunch
is
of
he
adults are living together in a trailer
hanging
while they
out
live stream their
with-
activities?
In 2010,
That's weird, right?
In 2010,
Yes?
Dick was arrested for allegedly groping a bartender and a patron at a West Virginia bar. Wow, not far from here. We might have had to run. But the charges were later dismissed. He later pled not guilty in 2018 and 19 on 2 separate incidences of allegedly groping people. Keep your hands to yourself, please, people.
I don't understand this type of unabashed behavior where like you really just think that you can go around violating people and no consequences will follow.
I want to know where.
Weird that the author of this piece is Jeremy Dick.
I was thinking that too. Like, are you related? I
How
went down to
common is
the
this?
to the author page and I was like, wait, who are you?
Yeah.
He's been a writer and
But-
editor since 2014 and a self-professed horror expert,
assume
pop
it's just
culture
a
enthusiast.
coincidence.
He's a huge Bob Saget
Fanatic?
fanatic.
Heck,
So-
okay.
So, you know, he's
But like this
you're
quote
besmirching
was
my last
wild.
name.
My middle name is misconduct. They know what they signed up for. I don't grope people anymore. I don't expose myself anymore.
This is a statement he chose to release. Let's
Yes.
note this.
I didn't
He was like,
grope
I know how to
anybody.
handle this.
He said, I don't grope people anymore. And then ... I didn't grope anybody. I might have kissed somebody on the cheek to say goodbye and then licked them. That's my thing. I licked Carrie Fisher at a roast. It's me being funny. I'm not trying to sexually harass people.
Just remember, no, don't
He
go
said,
to
I
Hollywood.
didn't grab anybody's genitals. Of course I'm going to proposition people. Of course, right? I'm single, depressed, lonely, and trying to get a date.
We're
They
gonna
can
s-
just say
he
no,
just, like,
and
gives
they
me the
probably
creeps.
did,
I don't like
and then
this
I
at
was
all.
done.
But
I won't do it anymore. I won't lick anyone's face anymore. We have an agreement.
the standards in Hollywood are literally that low. Like his agent
Like,
called him.
okay, I'll stop groping people.
His,
Ha
a-
ha.
his agent calls him. He's like, look, you can be a creep, but could you just stop licking
No,
people's
see, I think
faces?"
there's something so much darker. He's like, well, I'm lonely and depressed. I'm just trying to have a date, so I'm going to make weird advances at people. It's just what people do. Like, that's dark. That's weird.
And
They
not-
have no concept of like how normal people act.
no, they don't.
No.
And not to be outdone, doctors.
And his excuse is like, I have feelings, so I should be allowed to do what I want. What?
And not to be outdone, Doctor Strange actress Zara Fithian and husband convicted of multiple counts of sexual abuse of children. I'm not even going to read this one. It's disgusting. I don't care. I hate Hollywood in a lot of
Basically, they're creeps.
They're creeps. And to me, the hardest part about all this is I'm at this weird kind of impasse where these two roads diverge, right? I love the art form of film. I love movies when they're made well. I love the entirety of storytelling in a visual sense, and a well-made movie can be a transformational and beautiful thing. And then you have to deal with the fact that it's part of an industry where stuff like this is not just there, it's common, and you have to find a way to both want to see these things and not feel like you need to take a shower immediately after you watch anything that comes out of here. And that's on top of the insult to injury that comes when these are the people who all rub elbows together that lecture you on how to live your life and, you know, with your median income, and who cares about inflation, and go buy a freaking electric car. It's the weirdest thing for me to not be able to, I can't find a way to really, to settle the argument between the two. So I'm kind of always at odds.
I think it's only their extreme dysfunction that motivates them to turn it around on everybody else.
It's
And
projection.
moralize at and preach to ordinary people.
projection. It's a lot. There's a lot of projection that come out of these industries and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like,
and it's not just them being annoying and stuffy and like overly political or whatever, like just obnoxious people. It's that they literally get up to debauched behavior and like predatory behavior, and that's not commonplace.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.